this seminar going forward. So our topic today is how to prepare your business for grant funding. All right, how to prepare your business for grant funding. And as I said before, there's going to be a lot of information being talked about. I just want to let you know that I have spent hours upon hours of working with many business owners and also doing some research. I know this is a global community, so thanks, Sterling, for getting me prepped to make sure that I was focused on the global community of people all over the world that will be looking at this and watching this. And so I want to let you know that get your notes, paper out, please, because there's going to be some information for the people that are live right now. You can go to that bit.ly link. I also put it in the chat. For the people that will be watching this after the recording, you can go to that bit.ly link, and also you will get the notes and PowerPoint so you can follow along. So as Sterling said before, I am the owner of Kanston Development. It's a management consultant and training firm, and we help small business owners to be strategic about their growth, or to help them be strategic about, if they're growing so fast, how to get a handle on their operations. I also do a lot of consulting, business counseling for many different entities. I've spent 10 years in the banking industry, helping small business owners to start their business, get capital for their business, and grow their business also. I'm also a certified coach, trainer, and speaker with the John Maxwell team, in which we consult and help people around leadership development. Now, Sterling said I was a part of 10,000 Small Business Program with Goldman Sachs Foundation. They have a 10,000 Women's Program that is for women in third world countries. They have a UK program. They have a United States program. So you might want to go check them out and Google that, because it is free education for people in business or just want to start a business. And I have a couple of degrees in business also. So I hope that sharing that information, because it's actually going to let you know the breadth of my background, even though that's not my total background. But if you are going to listen to someone and take their information and use it for yourself and your business, that means that you want to make sure that they're coming with the goods. So hopefully that helps everyone know my background, and you could just Google me, and if you really want to know a little bit about my background. Also, kudos to Sterling. She has always been a friend and a person that actually helped me to be more active on social media. So I want to thank you for that. But are you all ready? Strap up on your seatbelt. Get ready to get some information. If you have some distractions, I want to say, listen, close out all of the distractions that are on your computer screen, and get ready, because it's going to be great. So for the people that are here live, I want you to answer this question. What does business mean to you? And pop that in the chat, right? And for the people that's going to watch the recording, you can write this down also. What does the word business mean to you? And I want everyone to answer that question that is on the seminar now. And the people that are watching the recording, I want you to write this down also, because I really want you all to get in your mind what you think business is, and what do you think business means for you? Because it means different things to certain people. And what we need to understand is that everybody's business, as we call business, is not going to look like someone else's business. And the reason why I say that is because we sometimes put, we put certain things out there, and we say, your business should be like this, or your business should operate this way, or your business should have this or have that. And so you really need to understand what business means to you. But then you also have to understand, because we're talking about grants, right? What this business means to the people that will actually give you a grant for your business, all right? Some people said business impact. Some people put down here profit, an exchange of good, thought leadership, services, compensation, revenue. All right. And so, I really want you to think about that, because how you think about your business is how you're going to operate your business. I'm going to say that again. How you think about your business is how you're going to operate your business. Right. And so some people say social entrepreneurship, impact of solving a problem. Cool. That's awesome. How you think, I'm going to say that again. How you think about your business is how you're going to operate your business. So thank you all very much. And thank you for the ones that are watching this recording, that you write that down also. And so there's a man named Marcus Loomis. He has a show on CNBC called The Profit. He owns tons of businesses, and he always talks about these three things when he's talking about business: people, process, and profit. And those are the three things that he looks for when he actually invests in a business. And so you're talking about people. Every business is run by a person or people, right? And how your people are set up, right? And who is on your team makes your business go, can slow your business down, right? And so people should be a huge part of your business, because guess what? Without people, no one's going to buy your product or your service. So a lot of people forget about the people, but they think about the process and the profit more, right? So let's talk about process, right? So every business has a process. And I know for some people that said, well, I don't have a great process. I don't have, tons of employees or people working for me. I don't have you have a process. If you take in money for your business, you have a process. Someone is paying you in some form. You're selling some service to someone, or you're selling some product to someone, and you're getting that service or product to them. Now, the process is very, very important to understand, because if your process fails, then your business might not be able to take care of the people you're trying to sell a service or a product to. So let's talk about profit, right? Everyone, listen, a business is a business when you're trying to make a profit, right? And so I want to dispel the myth about, hey, we're just starting a business just to have some fun. Just listen, it's all about profitability. And so I'm just not talking about the bottom line net income profit, but I'm talking about the profit that will come in your pocket, right? All right. I mean, listen, hey, feel free if you all want to give me some big up, some thumbs up reactions, but I'm going to say some stuff here that you're going to probably say ouch a lot of times, but that's fine, because I'm here to help you, right? And so profit is being able to bring in income for yourself or for your employees, but also making a profit so you can reinvest in your business. All right. And so the reason why I bring those three things up, and the reason why I share, because I didn't make this up. I got this from Marcus Loomis, but I know that these things are very important. And these three, people, process, and profit, I talk with business owners all the time about this. Like, you might have great people, but your process is not great, so you can actually get your service and your product to your customers. All right. And then profit is important, because without having profit, you can't reinvest in your business. And so that's why it's important. And cash flow is important also. So, talking about cash flow is the bloodline to your business. Cash flow, you might want to write that down, y'all. Cash flow is the bloodline to your business. I'm just saying. You don't have, you could have profits, but if you don't have cash, you can't do a lot of things, right? You could have revenue for a business, but you might not have cash in the bank to operate. There's a lot of businesses that operate where they will book a product or service, but they don't have cash to receive that product or service. All right. So remember, people, process, and profit is so important for a business. And feel free, if anybody, while I'm talking, if you want to pop some questions in the chat, even though we're going to have an opportunity at the end where we could go some go into some deep, questions and answers. And so here's the myth. Here's the myth right here. The myth is that people are fearful and don't understand that there are grants out there for every single type of business. I know you've seen those ads on the internet, on TV, saying that there are grants out there for a business, and then someone gets you to pay something and they give you like a list of stuff. But I want to tell you that there are grants for businesses in any phase of the business. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. And so the myth is that we are fearful, and fear means false evidence appearing real, right? False evidence appearing real. And the fear comes from a lot of times from other people. Somebody will say to you, you can't get a grant for your business because you're not a nonprofit. You can't get a grant because you don't know what you're doing. You can't get a grant because there's no grants out there. And so I want to let you know that fear stops us from moving forward. I'm going to say it again. Fear stops us from moving forward. And I want to let you know I am a person that has received grants before for my business that have helped many of people, nonprofits and for-profits, to get grants or get funding where they don't have to pay it back for their business. And so you need to understand that, yes, they might not be easy to find, but sometimes it might be easy to receive funding. And so we're going to talk about different funding types. I'll give you a couple of resources where you can go to, but I give you one big hint. Google is a great thing, right, to find grants. Google is a great thing to find grants, all right? So I know that there's some people that are very fearful to research grants, to go after grants, to get funding that is forgivable by your government or other entities, but don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. So what can be funded? Let's talk about that, right? What can be funded? You're probably saying, what can I get a grant for? You can find a grant for anything and everything. All right? I'm going to say that again. You can find a grant for anything and everything. You're probably saying, what? Doesn't make any sense to me. Let me tell you something. I'm going to share some testimonies, some stories, and you're going to be like, it is no way. It is no way that I can get a grant for that, right? So you can get a grant for revenue. That means that revenue into your company, into your nonprofit. You could get grant to cover expenses. You could get a grant for capital expenditures, meaning that you might have equipment. You might are looking to improve some space, looking to buy a building. So there's grants for a lot of things out there. Now, how do you find them? That's where it takes some time. Now, if you don't want to do the work, why would somebody want to give you money? I'm just saying, if you don't want to do the work, why would somebody want to give you money? Like, people are not going to be walking up to people, every single day saying, hey, I have grant money. Here it is. Take it. There's going to be a process to it, right? It's going to be a process to it. And so a lot of times when I talk to business owners or people, they're always saying to me, Karriem, can you help me find a grant for this? And I usually tell them, I said, it's not trying to find a grant for what you want. You have to understand what the grant funder is going to be giving you a grant for. Because the funders make the rules. You don't make the rules. And so you have to change your thinking of trying to find a grant for what you're trying to do all the time and find out who are the funders, who is going to give you money for certain things. And they tell you what they're going to give you money for your business. And so a lot of times, people are looking for certain specific things. And yes, there might be, funders for that. but you really have to look at funders first and see what they're looking to actually give you money for. All right. So, get ready, y'all. So here's some types of grants funding. All right. And so the reason why I talk about grants and funding, because there are funds that do not sometimes come in a form of a grant. It might come in a form of a forgivable loan. All right. And there are a lot of those out there nowadays, especially because of the impact of COVID-19 on the economic development of many nations, many small businesses, that there are a lot of loan programs that they will forgive the loan if you use the money for a specific purpose. All right. And so you can get grants and funding for pre-startup, and I'll define these things. When you're starting up your business, pre-startup, startup, for seasoned businesses, mature businesses, and also workforce development. And the reason why I put workforce development down there is that there are programs, and what workforce development is when you are developing people for a job, right? Workforce development grants and funding comes to help out when you are developing people for a job, for a specific training. If you are looking to hire people, there are grants that you can get approved. All right. You can get approved before you hire someone to get reimbursed up to a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of money for hiring that person and keeping them on your staff. Free money, y'all.
And can I just say,
go ahead, Sterling.
I was going to say that's if any one of you all have payroll, to cut your payroll cost in half is a major plus. So I love that Karriem is telling us and teaching us how to think differently now when it comes to acquiring grants and funding, to not just think, that, it's just about a nonprofit or a social enterprise, but also for your for-profit business, and that there's multiple ways that you can get free money. I know right here in our state, and I was doing some research as well. I know I looked up in Nigeria and in the UK, they have programs just like this where if you're hiring people from a certain labor pool, they're going to reimburse you for having these people work with you. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember, I think it was under the Clinton administration, they had the welfare to work program. So if you hired people who were just coming off of welfare, you were reimbursed for that. So as a business, your business can be approved for that. And so Karriem, thank you so much for sharing that to help us shift a little bit about how we're thinking about gaining access to funding.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Sterling. And you brought up something, shift your thinking. And feel free to chime in anytime, Sterling, because, hey, it's always good because, there's some stuff I talk about you want me to expand. Shift your thinking. That is so true. Listen, if you are always in the breakdown lane, you're going to stay in the breakdown. Now, if you're on a 3-lane highway, there's a breakdown lane, right? You got a slow lane, a middle lane, you got a fast lane. If you stay in the breakdown lane, people are going to be passing you all the time. You have to get out of the breakdown lane. Sometimes you got to get up in that slow lane, the middle lane, and the fast lane. And I'm going to tell you all right now, the funders are not going to wait on you. I'm going to say it again. The funders are not going to wait on you. They're going to put the stuff out there. If you don't apply for it, or you wait to the last minute, it's like it's on you now. Like right now in the United States, there is a loan program called the Payroll Protection Program, PPP. Everybody knows that by PPP loan. We're in our second round. They just extended it. The government did, but they haven't officially extended that. The deadline was March 31st. Banks already started to cut off the application processing of that weeks ago, right? And so if you didn't get into that in the beginning, then because, oh, I don't know if I can qualify, right? Or I don't have my stuff together. And I'm going to talk about having your stuff together here. Or that's not for me. Don't already tell yourself no because you got to change your thinking.
Yes.
I'd rather submit something and somebody tell me no or tell me yes.
Yes.
And so you got to change your mindset, right? Your mind, as I said before, we go back to the myth of fear, right? We're fearful because we're scared. What if you get a grant for 50,000, 100,000, a couple million? What can you do with that to make your business more profitable, to help out your community, to hire more employees, to take the stress off of you? And I know many of you have goals of growing your business, but you're saying, I don't have the money right now. I don't have the funding. But guess what? There's funding out there to help you grow. I was just listening to something on YouTube yesterday because I'm working with a nonprofit and they're trying to get a entity off the ground. And I'm listening to this government entity and they say, listen, you come work with us. We're going to pay you in 7 days. We're going to pay you for the training. We're going to give you revenue. We made it easy. So why not just work with us? I'm like, whoa, I'm thinking about like, maybe I need to start a business in construction. They're going to give me money for training and pay for my expenses and pay me 7 days after something is finished. I was like, I might start a construction business myself. Right. And so there's stuff out there. You just have to spend the time to look for it. All right. So let's go on.
Karriem, can I give you an example of something that you talked about? You said that how you have to be ready because they're going to put it out there and there might be a time frame or a time limit. So someone in the our Commerce sent us this grant for food businesses, right? And so they sent us the grant and they said that it's opening on March 15th at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. one day. And you have to submit within those hours. And it's only on a first come, first serve basis. Mm. And so there's some stuff out there like that. But what they did was they sent you the how you can be prepared for it. So on that day, all you need to do is submit it. So what Russ and I did, Russ, for everybody, is my husband, we went through everything we needed, had it already set up on the computer. So I think it wasn't 8 o'clock, it was 12 to 6. So at 12 p.m. EST, as soon as that thing opened, we threw that bad boy in there to make sure that we were like one of the first applications and we had everything we needed because we were prepared, right? We were prepared. We looked through what they needed from us. Some things we had to tweak because we've been applying for a lot of grants. Some things we had to tweak. We tweaked it and submitted it. And we were by 12:45, we were in, it was in the system. So there's things like he's saying, it's going to be things that's going to have a time frame on it, but don't let it scare you. Just look at what you need. If you are running business the right way, you most likely already have it and you just need to access it. So
That's right. So, and the other thing also I tell people, if you don't have everything put together, still apply. Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Stone. Give me a shout out. Happy birthday. We should have sung happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right, cool. Let me stop singing, right? People might start talking about me. But let's talk about the pre-startup business, right? This is the business that has not been in operation. This means that you haven't officially started your business, but you want to. There are grants, such as you could receive from a pitch contest. There are groups, seed groups, they call seed groups, that they put their funds together and they seed businesses, meaning they help them start up, right, their business, and they will give them a grant or give them a forgivable loan or some money. And then there's educational training programs that if you go through their program, I know of a couple, after you finish the program, they will give you a grant to start your business, all right? And so no matter what phase you are in your business, all right, no matter what phase you are in your business, there are grants and funding out there for you, all right? Now, as I said before, the work is finding out those programs, all right? You know, I mean, one of these, maybe I need to put together like a software program where I pull all those resources together, right? I have to think about that if I
Do
want to
it,
spend
do it,
time
do
on
it.
that.
You could get
But
some fun.
I
You could
got
get
a
some
lot of other
grants for
stuff.
that.
I know, right? I could get a grant for that, right? I just have to have the time, right? So that's the thing. So, a startup business is a business has been in operation for less than 3 years. There are, same things, pitch contests, get funding for startup businesses. There's C groups, once again, educational trainings, and also I put this in here, interject, if you're a startup business, there's federal, state, and local governments, and depending on where you are in this world, right? Every country has a federal government, state, and local governments, right? And so they have funding that grants and sometimes forgivable loans that you could tap into to help you with your business. Now, people are probably saying, Karriem, man, you know what? Are you serious? Like, my government is going to give me money for my small business. Why would they do that? Like, it's out there. Now, they don't have marketing dollars to go out and market this information, right? They are using taxpayer dollars to actually fund these grants and these programs. So they're not putting in marketing dollars to market this information to you, and that's why you have to go and find it. You have to call your economic development office. You have to call your chamber of commerce. You should be, calling your networking groups that work with small businesses, or like somebody say, yes, grants.gov is a good one. Thanks for putting that in there. And so there are many, many things that you can find out over this last year with the COVID-19 pandemic. There has been tons of all types, federal, state, local, nonprofits, private organizations putting out grant funds. Sometimes they might do one round, they might do a couple of rounds, and then there will be more coming out also. But if you're not always, like I use Google Alerts, for certain things, you might want to set up a Google Alert for grants in your Pacific, in your Pacific country, in your Pacific state, in your Pacific region, or what you do. And let me tell you right now, there are tons of grants for women-owned businesses or women that's entrepreneurs all over this globe. I was just on our federal grant here in the United States, and I just put in entrepreneurship or business, small business, and there's tons of grants that the federal government is giving out in the United States to help women-owned businesses or women entrepreneurs, right? And so it is, you have to be, how can I say, if you want it, you got to go after it. Just like you're passionate about your business, you're passionate about the service that you're selling, you're passionate about the product that you got to be passionate about getting money. I'm just saying. I'm telling you, by making a whole lot of mistakes, starting my consulting business in 2000, I'm gonna say the last 2 to 3 years, I've gotten really good at marketing and sales. I learned a lot of stuff, and one of the things I learned, that you got to be passionate about getting revenue into your company. I'm just saying, if you're not passionate about it, then it's not a business, it's a hustle. No, that's not a hustle. It's a hobby. Let me put it that way. It's a hobby. It's not a hustle. It's not a business. If you're not passionate about bringing revenue into your business, it's a hobby. It's not a hustle or a business. All right. So for the seasoned businesses, mature businesses, there's still the same things: pitch contests, C groups, educational training programs that have funding, your federal, state, and local governments, and there's also foundations and nonprofits that will work with mature businesses. Like, there is a federal grant I know in the United States that they will fund innovation. You have a great innovative idea for your industry or for your business, they will give you money to research it and then also get it to where you implement it. And so a lot of people don't understand. And let me tell you, the big corporations know this. right? They have a full-time person looking for grants. They have a full-time person applying for grants, right? You know, like the big corporation we have here in the Northeast is CVS. CVS is getting grants. They're getting tax credits, right? Because they have full-time people that are looking at this stuff because they're trying to increase their profit, right? Increase their cash flow and reduce the amount of money of cash that they're paying for expenses. So this should be in your plan for your business. I'm just saying.
And here's
right.
something I'll suggest. Here's something that I would suggest that my husband and I did, especially right around the time, right when, you know, COVID hit. We set aside time every day, and this might not work for you, but at least an hour a week. We set aside every day a time, an hour, to look for grants. We put alerts on our phone, like Karriem said. And if I were you, I would write that down and go and do it. Put it a Google alert to put in whatever your business is, the type of business, and put in grants for that. Or put in grants in Nigeria, grants in the UK, grants in South Africa, grants in Jamaica. Because there's tons, especially if you're a woman-owned business, minority-owned business. If you're in, you know, a part of the world where you are the majority, it might not be considered minority, but you can look up for women, or maybe you are starting a water company. So maybe it could be environmental. Yes, get a spreadsheet and put those down. And sometimes what ends up happening, you might miss a cycle, but put a calendar reminder for next March. This is coming out again. So you know to look for it next March, or it's coming out in June. So put a calendar reminder. Like Karriem said, you have to be passionate about getting money into your business, whether it's through sales, whether it's free money. Free money always works for me. Free money that you don't have to pay back. Put alerts on your phone, put calendar reminders, spend, like he said, there's large corporations that have people working. If you don't have someone, you don't have the money for a staff, that's one of the things you could get an intern for. You could get a college student to do some research on some grants that can work for your business. If you have a teenage child, you can have them do that. That's a way they can help out in your business. And when you start learning about tax stuff, you can actually pay them, put them on payroll for that. All right. So there's so many ways to make that happen. And then the other thing is, all of these products and services that you use, think about the products and services that you use, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has grants. So go and Google. That's a fun thing to do. Coca-Cola grants for small businesses. McDonald's has grants. Blockbuster. I was just watching that Blockbuster documentary. Not Blockbuster. What is it called? Best Buy. Best Buy has grants for women-owned businesses. So all of these major companies, PayPal, Russ and I received the empowerment grant that PayPal did back in June of last year. We got $10,000. But the beautiful thing isn't just the $10,000 that they gave us, it's the other resources that come along with it to help grow your business. Right? That's free education that you didn't have to pay for. That is pouring into your business. That is building your network. Because now I'm in a Facebook group with other businesses from across the globe. That's right? So I'll tell you more about the other grants we got as we move along. Because I want you to know, the reason why I'm speaking about it is because I want you to know it's a real thing. It's not this random people on Facebook or Instagram talking about they got grants and you don't really know if they got it. My business received lots of grants. So I want you to, that's why I keep speaking about it. But go ahead, Karriem.
No. You said, and Christy Sadler is putting some good information in there also in the chat. And so Sterling, I didn't even think about going that deep into, like, you're going deep, like talk about the corporation. I have some at the end that I'm sharing with people. But I really want people to do the work. Unless now that might be part two, Sterling. That's how you make money. People make money, right? They could be the website that has all the grants. You pay for that. And there's many websites like that. And there's free ones also. But just to give you an idea, here in the state of Rhode Island, United States of America, the governor put up a $50 million fund for small businesses to get grants. All right, $50 million. $50 million. Now you break it down, we're not a big state, so, it will take care of a couple thousand business owners. But I had an opportunity, me and my partner, we run a organization called the Multicultural Innovation Center. We received a contract from the state to help people to apply for the grant. Just think about that, right? So we help people apply for the grant, and the state gave us a contract to help people to do outreach and then also apply for the grant. But guess what? We help people apply for the grant. Guess what we were doing for those people? At the same time, we were working with the state in the background to make sure people got the grants. So there is, I would say, if you know of an institution or organization that you can link up with, that they are helping you to find grants, to help you to find funding, you want to link up with them because they might be able to push, right, the entity that's giving out those funds a little bit harder so you can get that money. So there's a reason why you want to be in certain business organizations, network groups, and get help from certain institutions because they can help you out to get funding also. And I'm just going to let you know, the state is going to put out another grant cycle that's coming up. We're going to get a contract with them to help small businesses out also. So there's some grants that will be evolving and coming out, and there's some that might be one-time grants, right? So that's why you should have Google Alerts and be connected to other people. So also, I will offer to anybody, anytime that's watching this live or recording, a free 30-minute consultation if you need that also. But let's talk about workforce training grants, because this is one where a lot of small businesses don't even think that they could qualify for. It's not on their radar. We're always scared to hire somebody because we don't have the money. Are they going to work out? A lot of large businesses use workforce training grants and hiring grants to hire a lot of people that they might not feel are fit yet, but we want to try them out, right? So you can find grants and funding to train current employees, right? So if you have current employees and you're looking to upskill them or looking to help them in a certain area, it could be management training, customer service training. It could be for their skill or their specific job. There are many grants out there that the government puts out, usually these governments, right? And you're probably saying, why would the government give me a grant to train people that are current employees? How does the government make money? Through taxes, right? So if I have more people employed, and that's why the United States came out with the PPP loan, the payroll protection loan. If I have more people getting paid wages, that means that there's more people paying taxes, and that's how the government operates. So that's the reason why wages was a huge thing that a lot of the funders use, because they wanted to make sure they also would get revenue. So we're giving out grants. We also want to have revenue also. Now, the new PPP loan that the United States has, you don't have to have employees now. It could just be you. You could be a sole proprietor. You could still apply for that forgivable loan. It's a great thing. So if you're like an independent contractor, a Lyft driver, Uber driver, you can still get those grant fundings. Also, you can get a grant when you're about to hire people for future workers. So instead of you spending all of the money, and most of these grants are reimbursable when you're hiring people, the same thing with training, you can reduce the cost of hiring workers. And guess what? A lot of the times the money is not taxed, right? And it can help you out with your cash flow. I'm just saying, if you could get money and you wasn't planning on it and you was going to hire somebody, why wouldn't you apply for it? Why wouldn't you apply for it? I'm just saying, what is holding you back? It's going back to the myth and the fear. That's what's holding you back. Oh, you're saying to yourself, I can't get it. I hear people that all the time. I call them up on the phone. I say, listen, XYZ is giving out a grant. You should apply for it. Well, I don't think I can apply for it because I don't think I'm going to get it. You already are telling yourself that you're fulfilling the prophecy already because you spoke it in the atmosphere. Now it's going to live out in the atmosphere. Stop saying you can't, right? Stop saying you can't. Say you can. Just apply for it. Let them tell you what paperwork you need or what's not right, or because if you don't ask, you will never receive. I'm just saying, y'all. Like, I should have stood up instead of sat down because I would have been running already, right? I'm just saying, if you don't ask, you will never receive, y'all. I'm just saying.
Listen, LaDonna says, it's our money that the government is giving back to us. Never thought about it like that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? If you don't get the money, somebody else is going to take it. And they be sitting there having, now I'm not saying having fun. They'll be able to pay their bills, hire their people, and you sitting there and saying, man, I've been working on this thing for 2-3 years. I still haven't grown. Why? Because guess what? Your tax dollars, somebody else decided to use it. You decided not to use it. So don't get mad at the government. Get mad at yourself. Facebook just had a grant thing out there, right? You use Facebook all the time. You pay for ads on Facebook. They had a grant. They might open it up again. Well, you should apply for it. You should have applied for it. Don't get mad. So
get mad at yourself. Just asked.
Go ahead.
Naima just said, do we know of any companies that do this specifically to hire felons? So let me let you know. Yes. There's a lot of tax benefits, but also there are grants out there. So one of the programs that we, Russ and I have been working with to hire people for our business is for people who have a record. And so this is a nonprofit that gets money to do this, and then when you hire those people, you get a benefit, you get tax cuts, you get all these different things because you hired people who were deemed unemployable. The other question that let me see, I think it was Christy said, and even if you don't get approved, a lot of times they will let you know what you need to work on, because sometimes maybe, I know, especially in the last year, the reason why someone didn't get approved is because maybe they didn't have a record of sales. You were taking money, and I know we have most people on here are professionals that have their business either set up or they're already making profit in their business. But for some people, the reason why they didn't get approved was because they weren't tracking their sales. And so now they're asking, what were your numbers for June 2019 versus June 20? So they can see the discrepancy, because they want to know, like, did you have a 30% loss? Did you have a 60% loss? Some people, because they don't bookkeep, or they just are kind of willy-nilly doing stuff, they weren't approved. And so they said, oh, because you didn't have your numbers, this is why. Or your mission doesn't meet our mission. Like what Karriem was saying in the beginning, you have to know what the mission, what the purpose of these grant funders, what they're looking for, so yours can match theirs.
That's right.
Okay.
And you go always ask why you didn't get the grant and funding. That's what they do, right? So let's talk about getting your paperwork in order, right?
Yes. Right on time.
Right on time. See, Sterling. I know I set up the slides so we can just flow, right? And I'm not talking about having great financial records. What I'm saying, have financial records. Use Excel if you don't want to pay for a software program, or use a free financial software program. Use something to have records that you're keeping track of. So when you are asked, what did you make last year and what did you make this year, you will know by the month, right? Also. And the biggest thing, well, I laugh at people when I ask them, because I do a lot of business counseling. I'm like, so what was your gross revenue last year? You should know that. I'm not saying down to the penny, but I'm saying, did you make 50,000 in gross revenue last year? Did you make $1 million? Did you make 500,000, 275K? You should know that off the top of your head, because that's important to know. Because a lot of these grants, sometimes they might just be a quick, one page Google form or a form online. And let me tell you, as Sterling said it, if you're not applying in the first round, after 2 days, that application is gone. Yeah. It's done. And so you should have that. Also, if you're paying people payroll, this is independent contractors and also people that you're putting on the government payroll have payroll records or have the ability to have access to it. Now, I'll tell people, if you're paying people payroll, you should have, a payroll company do it and not you do it just by personal experience. I did it myself and I messed it up. So, I use payroll companies now, and I tell people to use payroll companies. Also, have a business bank account. I'm telling y'all, even if you got PayPal, even if you have Square, even if you have the Cash App, still have a business bank account. And I know a lot of people that are self-employed are saying, well, I'll run everything through my personal bank account. Nope, stop doing it right now, please.
That's commingling.
Stop. You know why? Because when you have a business bank account that's separate, you could just pull that information from your business bank account versus trying to figure out, all right, what did I use for my business and what did I use for my personal in one account? It is tough to do. And if you're a sole proprietor, get your employee identification number that is different than your social security number. All right. So if you're running a sole proprietor business, get a employee identification number that is separate from your business. And I know there's many people all over the globe. So whatever your government has in the United States is an EIN number with the IRS, but get a different tax reporting number than your social security number. Why? You're probably saying, why should you do that, Karriem? Well, I don't want my social security number all over the place with other people. So I use a business EIN number, right? Because I need to register my business, not me. I don't want to be registered all over the place, my social security all over the place, right? And yes, QuickBooks is very, very helpful. I have QuickBooks myself. QuickBooks Online is great. There's also a thing called Wave Apps that is free. There's Zero. There's many programs you could use, but have that information, right? And then also separate your business from your personal. That's the biggest thing to do, right? And I understand sometimes, we use business funds for personal stuff, but if you could have a separate account, because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the funders, they want to know you have a business account. They're not looking for your PayPal. They're not looking for your Cash App. They're not looking for a personal bank. They want to know you have a business account because you are in business and you're just not doing a hobby. Right.
And can I have us once again shift our mindset? So I want you to think like a funder. So imagine you have, which that's the goal for all of us, right? $50 million that you can give away. You want to make sure you're not just giving your money for someone to, for the lack of a better word, just shit it away. It's,
that's right.
You want to make sure that your impact is being made. So you want to make sure that there's a business set up that is going to utilize the funding. And so that's what funders are looking for. They want to know that their money is going to create a bigger impact, a ripple effect in the world and out there. So you have to have your things in order, your paperwork in order. So when the time comes, you're not scrambling, because trust and believe me, I have multiple businesses, and one of my businesses did not have all the different aspects because I just kind of started. If you look at my Gallup strength, I'm an activator. So I just get started. And sometimes I didn't have all my stuff together, but it was so hard once I had already started to kind of piece things together. You don't want to be in that mode. You want, when the opportunity shows up, you are so ready for that opportunity that you can just, jump on it. And I like to give people little technical things in the background, because sometimes we don't think about it and we look at it like it's the hardest thing in the world. Literally, you can go to your local business development center, small business center, wherever it is that you are, and they have someone there that can help you set up to get your EIN, or you can even fill it out online. But I know for some places it might be different. Like when we had our business roundtable here for BWP Connect, we had a woman in Jamaica, the lawyer in Jamaica, telling us that in different districts there were different setups for the business. So it might be like that for you. So go to your local business development center, commerce center, and see where you can get that set up. And once you do that, have a file on your computer. I use Google Keep for everything because I have the app on my phone, right? Put every grant you apply for, every business record that you have. So let's say, Karriem talked about having your business financial records. Let's say you know what your P&L is, so your profit and loss statement, you know what that number is for the year. Go and put it right there, so you're not searching all over creation for it. Put it inside of Google Keep. Put your bank account information. Put your login information for all these different things. So when it's time for you to apply, guess what? You just pull it. And something else that we did that was really creative, that I told Russ, when you fill out a grant, a lot of them, like Karriem said, is the what do you call it? It's like a type form or like a Google sheet. You know what I do? I send a copy to myself, or I copy and paste each. As I type it out, I copy it and I go and put it in the Google sheet, because guess what? A lot of these grant funders, they're using either the same system or the same doggone question.
That's right.
So copy and paste it, put it in a Google Doc. And when the time comes and there's an application that comes up, I already have the pre-information written up. I already have it written up. That's how we were able to apply for so many grants. Because once we did one grant application and we saw what they were asking for, they wanted to know what our numbers were the year before versus the year now, how much that loss was, why does your business need this grant, how are you going to use it? Guess what? We already had that information written out. So now when it's time to apply, guess what? Open up the document, copy and paste. If the question's a little different, you read it over, see how I can tweak it to make it work. Because I understand, I feel for all of us who are small business owners who may have limited staff and limited time, you need to have your stuff organized so you can just copy, paste, edit a little bit, fit, submit, get your check.
Yeah. Or the other thing, Sterling, you know what? I'm just going to be honest with folks. After a while, you got to invest in yourself. You know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. Listen, I know money might be tight, stuff might be tight, or you want to get stuff for free, or you want to barter. After a while, you got to pay people. If you're going to receive $50,000 in a grant, I will give somebody $1,000, $2,000 to help me out in a minute if I don't have all the stuff together, right? And so a lot of people, they come to me to help them with filling out grants because I have a process already, and I could just use the process for clients that I'm working with because my process and my template is sound and I know how to get people money. They're not paying me because I don't know something. I know something already. I know how to get money. So when I say I can bring people revenue, I can bring people revenue. Let me just, I think my next kind of slides, all right. So if you don't ask, you will never receive. I talked about that. You got to be thinking about, why should you apply? So you can increase your cash flow. So when you have cash, you can do more things. And then there's also about survival and growth. Many businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19, especially hospitality, event space, they were trying to survive. But there's also businesses that are looking for grants so they could grow, right? And let me tell you, if you don't want to use the money and you have employees, how about you help your employees out? That's what one business I said. It was like, well, we're doing fine, and I don't think I should apply for this money. I said, well, you pay your employees a low salary How about you give them a raise during this time, and you get the money for them, and maybe you could get a grant to help out your community, right? So the more cash you have in your business, the more things you can do. So that's why you should apply for a grant. All right, so let me give you some testimonials here, because people say, well, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Well, let me give you some testimonials. So I helped a hospitality business to receive close to $100,000 in grants or forgivable loans. All right. The funds were used to help them, stay afloat, to pay their employees. Their revenue was dipping, especially during COVID, and also to outfit their facility with some new improvements. Right. And so they got this money. Most of it was grants. They did get a loan that is forgivable, but that's like $100,000. What would you do if you had $100,000 right now for your business? I'm just saying, right? Another business, they were in a entrepreneurship boot camp that I ran for institution. So this was mostly startup type businesses. I think everybody was like a service type business. The person received a $1,500 grant and a 1-year Chamber of Commerce membership. It assisted their business in the startup phase of the grow their business, and now they have a couple of employees. So there's money out there, right? There's money out there for you. You just got to be looking for it. Also, a manufacturing business received an $80,000 forgivable loan. It assisted their business to cover payroll and increase their cash flow. So there's some testimonials. I can't share them all, but I have helped hundreds of businesses over the last 12 months to get funding for their business, for profit and nonprofit. All right. For profit and nonprofit. So here's some other resources. Invest Black, 50,000 K, start a business. That is December 31st. You get $50,000 and apply for it. I think they're giving out two grants for that. If you're in the United States, there are tons of grants and also forgivable loans that you could go after. If you go to SBA.gov and look up COVID-19 resources, like in the U.S., they're about to come out with this in April. If you were like an event space, say for instance, you like a wedding venue, and you were a big venue and you had a bunch of weddings, if you still not open, you could get a grant because you were shut down, right? Also, FedEx has a small business grant prize contest every single year, $50,000. There's also Startup Nation. It helps you with a grant for starting your business. So it's a couple of resources there. Here's for the global community. There's the UK.gov has small business grants if you've been impacted by COVID-19. Facebook ran a small business grant program. They might come out with it again. In Africa, there's Africa Growth Platform for COVID-19 through the World Bank. They have a lot of resources also. So, there's stuff out there.
Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. And so for people who want access to these slides, if you are a member of BWP Connect, we will have the replay and the slides available for you in the community. That's one of the perks. So we'll be sure if you would like to join us, I'll put the link in there for you to learn more about some of the workshops we have and how you can further connect with the other members in the group. And also, ask questions of the other experts like Karriem. So go ahead, Karriem.
No, you're good. Listen, I'm at the end. I'm ready to take questions that people have. I want to thank you all. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Paul, and the team for inviting me. As I said before, if people want to schedule a 30-minute session, there's my Calendly link right there. I will offer a free 30-minute session to talk to anybody. This is the people that are live and the people that will watch the recording. So let's open it up for questions. Yes, Donna, there are grants for startup and pre-startup businesses. I talked about it a little bit before. You got to search for it, or you got to look for it. There's many companies Like Miller does grants, Coca-Cola does grants, Facebook does grants. There's so many places. You have to do the work to find it. All right?
Yeah.
You have to do the work to find it. Or or pay somebody. So a lot of people use me because they don't want to research and they don't want to write the grant or they don't want to fill it out. So that's why, the grant man is in there. I didn't make that up. Somebody else likes to call me that. So they're like, Karriem, man. They call me like, Karriem, man, you just call yourself a grant man. I don't even know how you even know about all this information. It's because I've been doing it for a while. Some of it, I stumbled on it by working on some projects for the government or for nonprofits or for-profits. Like I said before, I did commercial lending before. So I was always getting information about what funding was coming out for economic development, for the federal government, for, globally. The federal government of the United States is giving out grants for people to go help people in third world countries to do entrepreneurship training for goods and services. So just like they put up the grants.gov, there's a lot of stuff on there also. But as I said before, Google is good, and also put Google alerts, right? Questions, comments. Go ahead, Sterling.
So I have one thing, but I'm going to read this question, and then I'll tell you about how we got $30,000 worth of equipment for our business. Cool. But let me go with Kelly's question first. So Kelly said, so I've applied for pitch contests, educational trainings, and PPP, and I have been declined. I won a very, very small pitch contest, yet I've had investors approach me, which is very confusing to me. I would prefer to build traction before getting an investor. What am I doing wrong?
So you apply for pitch contest, you apply for PPP and got declined, but you have investors approach you.
I wanted to know, can we have Kelly come on? Because I think we might need to ask her some clarifying questions. Kelly, let me know in the chat if you're able to come on camera.
Yep. Well, one, I would say about PPP, if you apply for the first PPP, you probably should apply for the second PPP, because the second round of PPP is more open to many different people. So like the second round, you take your gross, you don't even have to have employees. You could take your gross revenue for 2019 to 2020 divided by 12 and times that by 2.5, and that's what loan you're going to get. So you don't need to have employees. Like the first round was you had to have employees. They weren't making no certain things. So the second round, and also you got to work with a lender that understands what you're doing, because sometimes certain lenders they don't know what they're doing. So, but Kelly, go ahead. I know she's on right now. We got your audio.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I've been applying for a lot of grants, and I just feel like I'm doing something wrong, because when I share my pitch deck with people to get feedback, immediately people are talking to me about investment, but I need to build traction. So I'm not sure what it is I'm doing wrong, because I'm getting excitement, but I'm not getting the grants. I know that I've formed my entity under an older business. So I kind of did it as a DBA under that umbrella. So I'm not sure if that's confusing when I submit the information, or if it's just something else I'm just not presenting well.
Well, I would say, so somebody's asking to invest in your business, but you went to a pitch contest.
So I want to pitch. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that they should be talking, if you're at a pitch contest, they talk about, they should be giving you feedback of why they're not going to give you a grant.
Two separate entities. So I did win the pitch contest.
Okay. So you did win the pitch contest. Did you get funding? How much?
2,000. It was
all
small.
Right, cool. That's not small. That's more than what you didn't have already. I'm just saying.
True. I'm grateful.
Yeah. I got to put that out there, because some people think because it's small, it's not impactful. It's more than what you didn't have already. It's the same thing with the PPP loan. People are not applying because, I'm only going to get 10,000. So what? It's more than what you didn't have already.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we got to. I'm saying we got to change the mindset, Kelly. So thank you for allowing me to say that. So
Kelly, I'm sorry. Can I ask a clarifying question? I had to take a brief call, so I don't know if I missed it. But can you tell us a little bit about what your business is and what?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's an extension of a graduate school program. It is an entity to support emerging artists in the region of the Caribbean. And so right now we have different stages. Right now we are building a database of emerging artists in that region that'll be live and accessible to the public, and publishing articles. And our goal is to have e-commerce where we're selling their products online.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wow. Awesome.
So have you thought about, I know Karriem spoke briefly about this, but have you thought about looking up an innovation grant? Because the reason why that's really good, and when the first time I heard about it, I was like, wait a minute. So they're basically paying you to try out an idea. It doesn't even have to, they're paying you to test out. So to do the research, to bring people together. I forgot what is it called? It's almost like is it capacity? Or would that be
so it could be a couple. So sometimes they have a research grant where they just looking for you to develop research, and then it might be phase 2 where you implement what you've done for your research. And so, as I said before, Kelly, what you have to do is understand what the funder is looking for. And let me tell you what I do to help out clients. I talk to the funder before I submit a proposal.
Okay.
Can we set up a meeting? Can you answer questions? Can you give me feedback what you're looking for? Because I want to put the best information together before I submit something. If I have the opportunity to talk to them, some might just say, I'm not talking to anybody. Just go online and submit the information. I want to get so much information because I want to tailor my grant proposal to what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So, and I just helped out a friend like this. He was unemployed. He started his coaching business, his training business. And I say, there's money that you could get for your client to start training. So let's get on the phone with the government entity and let's ask them questions. And don't you know, the person gave them more information about how to get the money for this grant. They got the grant. The guy was ecstatic. I said, they get paid to tell you how to apply for the grant. So why not set up a meeting before you apply?
I never thought of that.
Yes, and let me tell you, people call me extra sometimes, and I'm cool with being extra, but you have to stand out to these people. So if they ask, for instance, for like a grant we just did said, either send in a video or send in a paragraph. If you are not good with video, I would say send a video. Let them, that's one step of them getting to know you as a business and the person behind the business. Because you know what? People want to fund. They want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And you being on video, you can show your personality, talk with passion about what it is. But let's say you are really like against video. In your paragraph, make sure you are showing the passion that you have for your business. You are using the keywords that they're using. Because the other thing is, we have to remember we're in a digital age. So sometimes when we're submitting things, we need to beat the algorithm. And so what does that mean? Mention words, have code words in there that are exactly from the grant that is going to help to pull out. Because I didn't even know that was working. My sister works in HR, and she was saying they have systems that when you submit a resume, it looks for the keywords that are in what they wrote on their job description. They look for it in the resume. So a lot of times there's a system behind there that is looking for words that match what they want. So think about that as you're applying. How can I, and not change your vision, right? But just tweak to make sure that they're seeing your vision to meet their vision.
Right. Thank you.
Cool thing. All right. Anybody else has questions?
This has been amazing. Thank you guys very
You're
much.
welcome, Kelly.
Kelly, best of luck.
Thank you.
Anybody else has questions, comments that you want to throw out to us? You use us now.
Yeah. While we're waiting, so in terms of the different type of grants that you can receive, through our state, we applied for something called an adaptation. So there's so many different grants.
Adaptation grant. Yep.
Okay, so it was the adaptation grant. So Russ and I want to expand to a restaurant. And so they had this adaptation grant, and they basically said, we know that COVID-19 has caused a lot of businesses to have to pivot and to shift and do all these different things. So they put out a grant for businesses to do so. So adapting from a food truck to a brick and mortar, that's an adaptation, right? That's a switch. So we applied, and the application was so easy. Because why? We already had done other applications. We knew our numbers, because remember, this is how to be prepared to get free money. So we were prepared. We had our payroll information. We had we did our taxes on time, right? So we had our tax information. We have our mission. We have our vision. We know what we wanted. So we were able to receive $30,000 to purchase equipment for our restaurant.
Wow.
So can you imagine? That is money that we do not have to spend to buy the refrigerators, the stoves, the hood, all these different things. What can that do for your business? Okay.
That's awesome.
So what can that do for your business? Then another thing, when I tell you, Karriem told you that Google is your friend. And even we have people, if you're on Instagram, right? You're on Facebook. You know what I follow? Hashtag grants. I follow hashtag grants. You know how many grants we applied to that we actually received based on following the hashtag grants on freaking Instagram, on a social media site, right? And Google. So what we did was I had been following that because I'm seeing it and I'm like, okay, Citizens Bank, which is a national bank in the, I think they might have, well, they have a subsidiary in Europe, but I think it's the United Bank of Switzerland. That's part of Citizens Bank, but they had something called the minority small business grant or something like that.
Yep.
And they only had 100 that they were giving out in the country, and only 3 in our state. And my husband and I received one of those, and that was a $15,000 grant. But once again, why I think we received it is because we were prepared. And we made sure that we told our story, because they're going to ask you for your story. Know enough about your business to tell the story of why it's important.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I was just about to say that when you get a grant, I mean, give kudos to the people that gave you a grant. That's important.
Yes, absolutely.
What other questions, people? What questions do you all have? Come on now. If not, listen, I could go do other stuff. You don't have a question? Hey, time is money. I'm just saying.
And you can come on and ask if you want. You can come on and ask a personal question towards your business, or if not, Karriem, I have an idea. Let me share my screen.
All right, so let me stop sharing and you do what you do. Do your thing.
I have an idea, because I know sometimes
people are scared to ask questions.
Yes, and they want technical stuff. So, Jan, I'm gonna pick on you, Jan, with love. Tell me the type of business that you. Oh, why am I don't like Google. She said, Lord. Jan, tell me, and y'all don't laugh at my Paul already laughs at me. Mind your business about my tabs, okay? Wait, I need to share my Google thing. Hold on.
It's all good. Yeah, pop those questions in there, y'all. Don't be afraid. Listen, this is an opportunity for you to ask us some questions. I mean, anything related to your business. So,
okay. So,
Naima says she has a plan laid out, and I need a lot of money. All right. So you telling us you need a lot of money, like what type of business or industry it is?
If this is the Naima Burgess, I think it is. Yep. Naima, tell me the type of business. I know you have a therapist company, but let me know the type of business that.
So she said it's innovative and nobody's doing it like this. So what I would say to that is that someone might not be doing it, but it's someone's doing something in that industry that you're looking to do this innovative piece. So you should be looking at other people that are in that industry that are doing it well and probably got some funding. Clinical therapy mobile unit. Hey, I was just talking to somebody about banking mobile units. It's not in that industry, but it's a mobile unit. So there's stuff, people have done mobile unit stuff. So you got to figure out how have they done it, but how do I put that and get funding for in my industry?
So look at what I just did. I just put in Google.
Yep.
Grants for medical startups. And so these ads come up, but then if you come down here, they have all these different companies right here. And this is from May 2020. So it's not that old, even though it seems like it's that far away. But we have right here 25 medical device development grants for small businesses. So just imagine if you spent an hour for the week and you go through and you look up these different things. And this one is hyperlinked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Or make a Google alert. That's what I do for a lot of stuff. A Google alert will automatically search for you. And you can say you want it every day or just every week.
And this one, look at it's for medical devices in the US and Europe.
Yeah. I see somebody else had a PCS startup support organization. Arioluwa. Hopefully I pronounced that the right way. Could we have her ask a question? Audio?
Yes.
She's asking questions about startup support organizations and just trying to clarify.
Okay, let me find her name.
Ireoluwa.
Oh. And then while she gets set up, we lost her.
Okay, we lost that, right.
We lost her. I don't see her name. And then maybe she tried to connect it. She got disconnected. All right. So I'm going to do Jan in a second. Let me show you how to do a Google alert. So you just go to Google Alert setup. And do you see here? So create a Google alert.
Jan, I'm just laughing at Jan's last sentence. So I'm helping Walmart to be less racist.
Come on, for real. So you just create a Google alert.
Yeah.
And you see, for me, what I have call for speakers if speakers needed. On this account, on my other account, I have one because this is like I call it my junk email. But I had this set up, but on my other account I have for grants. But so I had a nephew who fell out a window in Maryland. So I had an alert for every time the story came up because we were trying to do something as a family. But so
you got to put some more alerts in there, Sterling.
Yes. You
got to put some grant alerts in there. Come on now.
Well, I have it on my other account. This is
okay. All right.
Yeah, I have it for those grants, but you see here, so I have for speakers. So this is when, whenever different call for speakers come out for speaking engagements, I have that on here. But so it's super easy to set up. You can set it up for the frequency. If you look, you can edit right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Do you want it once a day, automatic? What region? So for my people who are in different parts of the world, you can set it up for your region. United States, whatever country you're in, you can set it up. Okay? And then you can say what email you want it to go to, what time, only the best results, all results. So Google could be your what do you call them? Your grant finder for now. Your grant person for now. Okay?
That's right.
All right, so let's go to Jan's question. I'll read it.
I don't think she had a question. Or if you bring her up, she says, don't through the camera, she can access by audio. So I didn't see there was a question in there. They were just telling me what she's doing.
No video. She said she's in her room. Girl, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. We could just use audio.
Oh, so service and experience design. Yeah. So just I want us to really just think creatively about our business.
Oh, she didn't have a question. Okay.
Okay.
What about my other friend? I think she's now back.
She's back. All right. Awesome. Let me get you, Ariel. Let me see.
So she could clarify what she's looking for grants for. Is it for the organization? Is it for the business?
Okay, here we go. There you go.
Everybody else, put some questions in there. Hey, come on now.
Day.
Go ahead, my friend.
Good day, Karriem. Good day, Sterling. Thank you very much thank you very much for organizing this session. So, like, I run a social enterprise. By the way, I'm Ire Akinriola from Nigeria.
Okay.
And I run a social enterprise aimed at putting structures to the startup ecosystem in Africa with the aim of reducing unemployment. So as it's where we believe, as more startups thrive, we'll provide jobs for more African youths that will be reducing unemployment in Africa. So as it's where grants that I come across are more for startups, like the people who are currently doing the startups, but then we are providing support to those startups. So are there grants for such organizations?
Yes. There are grants for organizations that are helping startups to actually get startups. So just like Sterling said, I would look at, do some Google searches, put alerts there. I will contact the economic development office that's in your country and ask them, what grants are out there for organizations in economic development.
Are you all there? I think I lost. Okay.
No, I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, I thought my computer did something funny.
Cool.
Can you pronounce your name again? Iriolua? Okay.
Iriolua. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, I found something earlier that I want to share with you about that's in Nigeria. Let me see.
Yeah. And nobody else has questions? We got 15 people still online, and somebody else from that group has to have some questions. Come on now.
Let me share my screen.
Pop some questions in the question box.
So you see
in
here,
the chat box.
And even look at, so you see, I just came to this website and they even, they want to give you notifications. You can sign up for notifications for that. But here, they have this incubator. I found this, I just Googled grants and funding opportunities in Africa. And this came up. This one has a application deadline for April 4th, 2021. It's for the Digital Lab in Africa and Mentorship Incubation Program. And so this one, I don't know if you see here, is for programs for young Nigerians. I'll put the link in the chat for you. The other thing I want you to think about.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. The other thing I want you to think about is how being a part of an incubator or a mentorship program or a business development program, that is the equivalent of free money in your business, because most people have to pay to be a part of membership programs, mentorship programs, college programs that help to grow your business, right? And so if you get free access to one, that is amazing. I know I was a part of a few here, and that's how Russ and I were able to make different type of connections. That's how we even got connected to Karriem.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So Christy's asking a question. Can we do a quick search for grants for writers? Are you looking for people to write the grant for you? Are you trying to find those people? So I am an author. So are you looking for grants for you for writers. All right, so she's looking a grant for her to be an author. All right, so I guess she wants us to show her
how to do that. Okay, let me share my. Or are you typing it up, Karriem? You should want to share your screen.
She's looking to start a publishing company next year. All right, so you're looking to start. So my thing, I would go back to, first of all, you got to think about where you are, right? And then also you should be searching in your region for who, if you're pre-startup, there's pre-startup money. Usually, a lot of times I see there's pitch contests in your area. So you should restart by searching for, pitch contests. Let's just say pitch contests in Chicago, right? That probably should be the search that you just start looking in Google. All right. Because you want to start in your area first, because usually a pitch contest is probably, you're going to have to go to the contest in person. Nowadays, it's COVID, but it has to be virtual, but they want to help people out in that area. So I would say pitch contests in Georgia for small business. That would be the search for me.
Do you see this right here? So this was writing grants to apply. So this came out in November. Let's see.
Yeah.
Make a living as a writer. And so remember, we were saying there's specific things that you can get funded for. So this is for people of color and LGBTQ grants. All right. So this was $100,000 they were giving out.
Yeah. You got to put in the specific stuff. And I would talk to people in the community that, if you're in a Facebook community, hey, has anybody received a grant for this?
Yeah.
Jan says, what do you do when you're not hand back? When you're not hand back, I just did this the other day, pick up the phone and call somebody. Especially if they're not answering emails. I call people, I leave a message in a minute. Right?
And that's what most people aren't doing that. So you already, when you send an email, when you pick up the phone to call, most people aren't doing that. Like Karriem was saying earlier, and this is no disrespect to anyone here, but the average person is not picking up the phone. The average person is not sending that follow-up email. So Paul always talks about being one step above excellence.
Yes,
do things above and beyond. Like I tell you, they call me extra. When I apply for jobs, when I apply for things, I don't submit a resume. I create a whole website showcasing everything that I've ever done, so they know why I'm the one for them to choose. When we apply for grants, I always put the stank on it. I put the extra so they can know that sterling, incredible, polished gems is passionate about what they do, and they're going to make the best use of this money.
That's right.
So go just a step beyond, because I think in the age of the digital age, we've gotten so used to just, let me just hit submit and send this and then wonder about what's happening.
Yeah. And it's not it's not nagging. Listen, I have I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. I got a customer relation management system. I try to do it on my own and Google Sheets and all that. And I got a system now. If I send you an email and you're in my system, I know when you open up the email, when you clicked on the link. So that's something, and I know there's free stuff out there too. That's something you might have to do for yourself. I sent this to this person. I emailed them. Did they open it up? I know when I sent it. I know when they opened it up. I know if there was a link that I put in there. And so that shows me that I need to follow up the person because they're interested. Sometimes you just got to invest in yourself. I'm just saying.
One of my friends, I'm going to see if I'm going to find out if I can find out what it was. But one of my friends received a grant for her to travel to Australia to go and write her book.
Oh, you all in the information. Listen, well, I noticed in the United States, every state has a commerce department. They fund trips to go and make connections in other countries,
in other markets. Yep.
in other markets. So I have a client right now. They're looking to export food out of the country. I said, call the commerce department. They might give you a grant so you will go travel to certain countries to export.
Yeah.
So it's just about changing your thinking. And I know all of this stuff is not in one place. I try myself to search myself. Everything is not in one place, and that's why you have to spend some time looking for this information.
And then look at this. So I just looked up, about writers need the latest ways to make money. Join listservs. That's how I find out. Like, I'm on the SBA listserv. I'm on the RI Commerce listserv. I'm on the grants.gov. So there's ways for you to receive information. And I know you might be like, oh, I don't want my email to be spam. Listen, go and create a new email and say, make it just for grants.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? There's so many workarounds.
That's right.
For you to do this. But I think the key here is to be prepared and then spend time on it. And if you can't spend the time because you're busy, get a free intern. One of the other things that some of your local places might offer is internships. So here in our local place, we were able to get an intern for a couple of months through this program for free. We didn't have to pay anything. They got funding, so they were able to pay the intern, and we just took advantage of so I don't mean it like that. We took advantage of the intern, but we took advantage of the opportunity to have the intern. And she did some social media stuff for us. She did some pictures. She did some research. So be creative, shift how you're thinking. And there's just so many ways that your business can be in position for funding. And I know we are working on having someone to come and talk to us about how to prepare yourself and think like an investor, because that's a whole nother conversation, right? But for now, there's things that you can do on your own to be in position to get free money. And
Sterling, talking about investor, think about investor like what? How for your business?
Oh, so meaning like, why would an investor want to invest in your business? Why would someone want to give money to your business, right? So
it's their last P, profit. It's an investor only invest in a business they're going to get a profit from.
Okay. And then
plain and simple.
Exactly. And is it worth the trouble for them to invest in your business? A lot of times, so if we look at like Marcus Lemonis, I love the show The Profit. Russ and I watch it all the time. When he goes to invest in a business, for him, he's looking for how much profit he can make. He's looking on the impact that it's going to have. Are you in too much debt that is going to be, because sometimes if you have some debt, an investor might want to invest in you, but is your debt so much that it's going to be a hassle for them? Are your systems completely just not in place and it's going to be too much for them to pour into your business? Or an investor might say, you know what? I have a team that's excellent with systems. So I love your idea so much. I will invest in you and help you develop your system and help you streamline this and help you connect with that. So those are all things that investors might be thinking about. Does this person have a system in place? Does this person have, are they profit rich? Can they be profit rich after we tweak some things? What is going to be the benefit for my other legs of business? One of the things, if you look at the show The Profit, you know what, that might be something we can do for our book and film club. So for our film club for the month of April, we're going to be doing Gyro Dreams of Sushi. That's a documentary about how he built his sushi business. But that might be a show we can watch, because he really touches on so many key points of how a business should be prepared and running, because you will think that a business that's been operating for like 20 years would have systems in place, that they would have records, they keep their records and all of this. And you'll see a lot of times, a lot of businesses don't have that. And so now when it comes for them to expand, when it comes for them to scale and grow, they can't do it because the owner, right, is so like there was this pizza shop, this family pizza shop that he was helping out. The owner held the position of making the pizzas. He was doing the books. He was ordering the stuff. He was doing this. So he was the bottleneck. And Paul talks about this, right? Are you the bottleneck in your business? Are you stopping your business from growing because the buck stops with you? And so now you end up sick and your business just has to stop because everything has to go through you rather than having systems in place. And so that's what an investor is looking for. And
And that's the reason why I started with that question. What does business mean to you? Because you have to think about, what does the business, is it, I'm just bringing it, this is my retirement money, or I'm doing this business just to pay for certain type of bill. You have to define that. Nobody can define that for yourself. But there's great opportunities, like Sterling said. Like, if you want to take your business and grow it to be a huge business, you're going to have to let go of certain stuff.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, So if you want to grow a business, a couple $1 million, have 100,000 employees, you're going to have to be able to let it go of stuff. And sometimes you got to bring in investors to take it to the next level.
Karriem, I know you have experience in this, so I want you to speak a little bit about this MBE certification and how that can prepare you to receive funding that is allocated, which we know sometimes it's in the millions, just allocated for MBE certified organizations, companies. Can you speak to us a little bit about that before we go?
Yeah. So minority business enterprises or disadvantaged business enterprises or women owned businesses, and you get certified by your government. What I usually tell people, you have to look at it as, what is the benefit of me getting certified, and what am I trying to do with being certified, right? So that's the thing you got to think about first, right? So I'm a minority certified business, veteran-owned certified business. I know because I put in proposals with governments and private institutions. They look at that as like, oh, we're helping out a minority-owned business. So that's why I got certification, right? You have to think about it as a strategy. That's what I wanted to say. You have to if you're going to get certified, think it about as a strategy and just don't get certified. So what I use it for, marketing strategy, right? I'm listed on directories. People get in contact with me all the time because I'm listed on a directory for free, right? I submit proposals and people look at my proposal a little bit more in detail because I'm a certified minority business, right? And if you're getting money from the government contracting, that whole world has certain contracts and funding set aside just for certified minority or women-owned businesses. So it has to be a strategy. And so my strategy is, hey, if I get in front of more people and I could get a leg up on somebody else because I'm minority certified, why not? Right? So another question somebody asked, if you have offices in multiple states, can you apply for multiple grants, or is it based off the headquarters location where the business is registered? As I said before, it is based off what the funder tells you is based off. So, for instance, I was on a call with the federal government the other day. They're giving out a grant to help out small businesses in Washington, D.C. If you don't have an office in Washington, D.C. right now, you cannot apply for the grant. Yeah. So it's really based on what the funder requirements or eligibility requirements are. So if they tell you you have to be in business in Africa, but you're in the UK, then you can't apply for it. So, and that's why the reason why I say look at what the funder is looking for, just not what you're looking for from the grant.
Yeah.
Because they set the rules. So like I said before, woman-owned businesses, tons of grants, tons of funding out there right now. And sometimes it might be specific.
And can I tell you just a little story to let you know why you need to get your stuff together. So here locally, I won't call names in case, but here locally, there was a grant that our health department received that was 1.2 million for a 4-year program towards girls of color, and it was supposed to go to a organization that was run by a person of color. And so specific things, right? Because some grants call for specific qualifications. And because there wasn't an organization that did it, end up going to an organization that was not run by a person of color, but they ended up hiring in. But my point is, there's tons of organizations in the state that were run by people of color, but did not have their paperwork. So they missed out on $1.2 million of easy money because they're already doing the work.
Yep.
But because they didn't have their paperwork, they were not prepared. The funding ended up going up to another organization that totally botched the whole operation. But what I'm saying is, to go back to our initial point of even having this workshop today, is please be prepared so when opportunities show up, you can take advantage of it. Don't forget something that's very, very important and that many people don't think about when they think about grant and funding. Think about workforce development. I know there was someone on here that says, I think it was you, Kelly, but said that, I want to hire someone, but I don't know, if I have the funding for it. I want to do this. Please look up workforce development programs in your state.
That's right.
And it literally can cut your costs in half, 50%. Okay?
Yep. Department of Labor and Training. It's huge.
Some places may, even because there's so much funding out there because of COVID-19. Remember, we think about 1920 when all of, the Spanish flu, the depression, all these things happened. There were millionaires and billionaires that came out of that era because of the exchange of money, because of the opportunities that were created.
That's right.
Okay? So go and do the research. Spend just some time. I promise you it will be the best thing for you and your business to set you up. There's probably organizations out there right now, there's probably funding where you can get free employees.
That's right.
Right? You could get free employees. You could get an intern who can do you so good that you might, it might increase the business for you to be able to actually hire them on your actual payroll.
That's right. Somebody put it here. There was a health neuro mobile.
Oh, that's Naima. Yeah, I put that in the group.
All I can say, Naima, anything in healthcare, you better be jumping on it like now. There's so much money out there. This disparity about healthcare and in minority communities. I was on grants.gov and all these other places. There is tons of money out there for people that's doing research about how COVID has impacted the community, how you're going to help the community. Listen, I'll be calling up my health department like, yo, how much money you got from the CARES Act? So if you're in the United States, the CARES Act, every single state has received billions and billions of dollars. And they are not going to tell you what they're going to spend it on. It's not public information. So I'm just saying.
That's why you need a network. So
yeah, you need a network.
One of the reasons why BWP Connect exists, because there's probably people right in our community that you could ask those questions of who are in your country. But Go online and find out what local organizations there are that are free. Yes, some have to be paid because, you have to invest, right? That's cool. But there's a lot of free organizations. There's a lot of free Facebook groups where people are talking about this stuff.
That's right.
Start looking, invest time in connecting with others because they can let you know, oh, well, yeah, I just applied for this. Because I know for me, every time an opportunity comes up, I share it in my local Facebook groups, especially if it's a local opportunity. If there's something that's global, like I put it in our Facebook group, and I believe I put it in BWP Connect. There was one for people who are in the beauty industry. A company, I think it was Procter and Gamble. They were giving out $50,000 for Black-owned businesses that was a beauty company. They had to be in beauty or the hair space. $50,000. National program. Money. The other thing I wanted to telehealth post-COVID, yes. And I did put a link in here as well. If you go back, let me see.
Yeah. And why you sharing that? Can I just tell one story?
Of course.
Real quick.
Please.
So I've been working with a group. There is a startup group, small business group in a state, in a city. And they're looking to organize and have an association. And so they didn't think there was money that they could get to form an association. So I said, listen, set up a meeting with the city economic development person and I'll talk. And I said to the person, the money that you get for community development block grants, can't we use that money so you could give it to our association so we could start? And the person said, of course. There's money out there. You just got to find it and ask for it.
Okay. Ask for it. And I promise you, like Karriem said early on, they don't have the marketing dollars because some of these grants are very specific, so they cannot spend money on marketing. That's why they have like a community relations person in the Department of Health, in the department at a local bank. They have a community relations person. Find out who the community relations person is, because that is the person who you could connect with to help you with some of this stuff, because they don't have the marketing dollars, but they have the money. And when money comes from it's so funny when I worked with the health department, I used to consult with them. They would say the feds, and it sounded so funny. They'll be like, oh, the feds and the feds and the feds. I'm like, who are the feds? Like, what do you mean? But that's the feds.
The feds are your tax dollars at work.
Basically. Right? And so they'll be like, oh, the feds, we can't spend the money on this. The feds want us to spend the money just on the actual grant. Right. So not on the marketing of it. So find out who your community, these are the code words, community relations, right? Sometimes they have a conference call explaining what the grant, yes, they have conference calls. I know right now, PayPal, if you go to PayPal, I'm gonna do it right here for you after this. PayPal AEO, they have all type of grants just through PayPal. PayPal has connected with other organizations to be able to give you funding. I was able to get the 10,000, but they have stuff for other states, mostly in the South. I don't know, maybe that's just where they are. So they have a lot of stuff in the South. This one here is, no, I don't want cookies on my computer.
I know.
But so look at Caribbean Small. This came out February. Caribbean Small Business Grants. What to know?
Yeah. I was doing some search about Caribbean and small business grants. The Caribbean Chamber of Commerce has tons of resources on their website about grants in the Caribbean also.
Look at that social entrepreneurship program. So that Kelly, I don't know where you are. I know you said you wanted to do, you're doing something in the Caribbean, but Kelly, that might be something you could do, the social entrepreneurship program, because what your business seems like is a social enterprise, like what you're trying to build. So it's not just about the profit, but it's about impact. Right. So that might be something you could do. I will put the link in the business. Jan, thank you for putting that in the
AEO. Yeah, thanks, Ian. Thank you all for attending, man. It's all about networks, and sometimes grants come in the form of just asking versus it being out there in the public also. Like
Yeah.
Sterling say, like, banks give out money, organizations give out money.
Listen, y'all don't understand. A final note. So please, I know some people signed up with Karriem already. I'm going to post in our community, Karriem introducing him to the community, and I'll also put the link for you all to sign up with him if you want a 30-minute consultation for him to help you zero in on grants for your business and what you need to be prepared for that. I will do that. But the last thing I want us to speak about, because today was all about being prepped and preparing yourself and shifting your mindset to receive free money for your business. The last thing I'm going to leave you is I want you to get super clear on what your vision is for your business and shout from the rooftops, because if you are not the spokesperson for your business, who will speak on your business? I'll tell y'all one story. It just triggered something that Karriem said about talking about your business and how people would just give you money. I literally, and I'm not gonna speak the person's name because everybody's connected, but I literally received someone sold $10,000 into my business. And this is not even COVID. This is like pre-COVID. This is about 3 years ago. I had an idea to start my nonprofit. And but at the time I was running my for-profit business. And this woman said, I believe in your mission so much. I never even asked. I just was always talking about my business and what I want to do and how I'm doing this and how I'm connecting with people. And she said, can you send me your address? I want to send you a $10,000 check. And I was like, what? True story, real story. But because I was sharing about my business, I got free money. And what was beautiful about this money, it wasn't attached to, oh, I need you to do this specific thing. She said, I know that you are about your business and you want to make things happen. So I'm going to give you this money, no strings attached. Please use it to benefit what you need for your business. Be clear on your mission and your vision for what you want and speak about it. Ask for it and be prepared to receive it by having your business in order. We are going to host in the BWP Connect community. We are right now searching for an expert to come and teach on how to set up your business for success. So meaning the actual systems you need in place. How to set your business up to receive credit, because credit is a whole nother business credit, I should say, is a whole nother beast that can really support your business. So we are sourcing an expert for that to bring that to you all. Okay. So I'm loving it. They said they're ready, all booked. Yes. So Sanika, if you're still here, love, can you please put in the chat how to sign up for BWP Connect? And you'll see all the other workshops that we already have in our vault that is going to benefit you in growing your business. We are all about learning, connecting, and growing, because that's our ultimate goal, is for us to grow in our businesses and grow as people. So learning, connecting, and growing. We are a membership of 500 plus, over 40 different countries. And we bring you workshops and events like this with experts like Karriem, who come and share how you can do things to better your business. So Karriem, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sterling.
You are awesome. I'm going to leave the chat running so you all can pick up whatever links. But Karriem and I will work on a resource list. So you can just go through and click if you have anything. But also Google is your best friend. So get it right. Get prepared. We love y'all. Have a wonderful Saturday.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you all.